Even if it's only 60%, though, that is a big difference than what we were talking about 2 years ago. If you have 60% of your days in the office, 40% out, that's a bit of a big change, and it's probably going to require some massive kind of restructuring for offices, the way you set up your office, the way you have everything that comes down from when employees are in to when the bosses are.
I'm not sure. I agree with that line of thinking, Becky, from the standpoint of you're still going to want all of your people in the office for that 60%, and you're still going to have a percentage of those people that are going to voluntarily come in on Mondays and Fridays. You're going to have client pitches. You're going to have business units that are dipping and they need to get together more often. So I'm not sure that the office landscape will change. Maybe there's a 10% footprint reduction, but I believe that the office space is going to be fairly similar to what it's historically been. If you think about where we were at 6 months ago, people thought that we'd never be in the office more than 20 or 30% of the time, and those population could live all over. I don't see that happening. I think I read the article in the Journal and at the conference that happened last week, and the majority of CEOs get bashed a lot. And the ones whose stock prices don't go up and they make millions of dollars, I get it. However, they're paid to have some vision in the future, not just 6 months, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years into the future. And what they're saying is that what we are seeing down the road is a need for people to work together. And if we asked everybody what they want, they'd want to not exercise and eat ice cream and pizza every day. Leaders have to lead, and they have to do what they believe is best for the long term for their employees.
That's a pretty paternalistic view, but I like what you're saying about the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You think that's when everybody's going to be in the office. That's when you'll see the collaboration. But that's like a 5-day weekend almost.
Oh, if people aren't working. Now, the biggest challenge that we haven't heard people talk about is a year ago over the summer when productivity really started to grow is that people couldn't go out. You couldn't go to your Starbucks. You couldn't go to the ball game. You couldn't eat dinner in a restaurant. Now we're going into a summer of remote work, where people can go wherever they want, do whatever they want, and we'll see if productivity dips. And if that happens, I think you're going to see 5 days a week faster than a lot of people envision it.
Oh, my gosh. So productivity, you think productivity went up? Because there's been a lot of us trying to figure out why productivity was so much stronger. You think it was just there was nothing else to do and not that people were taking their jobs super seriously from home?
Oh, no. Why do you think those are mutually exclusive? I think that people were taking it very seriously and they had nowhere else to go.
But you don't think people will, because this gets kind of to the heart of it, that some employers who think if you're out of sight, you're not producing. And that certainly wasn't the case over the last year. A lot of studies have come back and shown that employees were more productive than ever. But you don't think that will last when there are other distractions. Again, that comes back to kind of a paternalistic view of things.
Well, I am a father of 3. What I would tell you is when I look at this, and I'm an entrepreneur, and I lead a company of 250 folks. But when you look at this situation of employees, and I talked to 2 CEOs last week, and they said the most ironic thing, and maybe not so ironic, is that what the past year has shown is how low the productivity level was of remote workers before COVID. Everybody's productivity increased last year. Why is that? Why wasn't it so high for people working remote before? Because there's a lot of dilly-dallying that goes on. Now, I'm not saying, before I get the hate messages, I'm not saying that dilly-dallying only goes on at home. It also goes on in the office with water cooler gossip, longer lunches, people walking around together. However, when you're doing it at work, you're with coworkers, you're building relationships and collaborations, and that's what the CEOs are talking about. We're not having as much innovation and bonding and relationship building when you're doing it at home with your neighbor instead of your coworkers.
Tom, I don't disagree with you. I actually happen to completely agree with you. I think that this hybrid life is going to come and go quite quickly. The question I would ask you is, it does seem that there's a very big distinction between sort of New York, Chicago, some big cities, and then the Valley, which has taken a almost remote first approach to life. And I want to say that there has to have been lessons learned during this pandemic, frankly, about how productive people can be from home and the like, and why you think, and maybe it is just a paternalistic thing, maybe it is just the boss and power. And by the way, I think people will want to be in the office because there's proximity to power has always been a huge element of it. And you've been a second-class citizen if you're not in that office. But why do you think those lessons, which I thought were very observable even 2 and 3 months ago, it feels like that is disappearing very, very quickly?
Well, let me get to the Valley in 2 seconds. First, when we're talking about people and where they want to be, human beings by nature tend to be a little judgmental and a little hypocritical. I need my kids in school so they can be with their students and other students and the teachers and the interaction. Well, you should come to work so you can be with your manager and be with your coworkers. No. I'm good enough that I don't need it. Right? So we have this paradox. It's really fascinating and interesting and is a longer piece than this. In Silicon Valley, number one, developers have been able to work remotely for years. That is not a new thing, number one. Number two, when you have startup culture, right, it's about attracting the best talent and having to put that VC money to work as fast as possible. And there's less corporate structure that exists. When we hear people like what Facebook and Apple and those companies wanting to bring people back in the office, that's different than what the startups are doing because they have to put their money to work and they have to get as much talent as they can, as fast as they can, because the machine isn't fully running yet.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.